Shabbat Shalom. There is a story about a gathering of people at a mourner's minyan, relayed by Hasidic master Rav Yaakov. Some people piled into the house at a Shiva minyan. And if any of you have been in a small house where there's a lot of people there after a funeral, you know what this is. They began pushing and shoving and pushing, wanting to be at the front to sit closer to the family. As someone said, there were folding chairs in the basement. So one by one, each of these people brought up a chair from the basement, unfolded it, and sat down. After watching this scene repeat itself over and over again, Rav Yaakov could not contain himself. When somebody carries a chair from the basement and then sits on it, all he is a schlepper. He says this to everyone. But if each of you instead would bring up a chair for someone else, then you become elevated. Instead of schleppers, you become ba'alei chesed, kind-hearted people helping each other. With almost the same action, you are transformed from chair haulers into holy people who sweat on behalf of their friend, of their neighbor. Let us bring our actions away from ourselves and closer to Hashem. Our Parsha this Shabbat, Parsha Pinchas, opens with God's promise of a covenant of peace for the zealot Pinchas. Peace is dependent on the actions of others. We can push to the front with no mind to who we are stepping on, or we can look for an alternative path. Seek more chairs to share with one another, helping to promote a state of elevation for all. Our Parsha this Shabbat also contains new laws regarding inheritance for daughters, for women, as well as a section where God instructs Moses to prepare Joshua for leadership, words which you will hear in Heather's song. Much care, thought, and planning is going on to take care of others and ensure success, protection, and elevation going forward. Daughters are taken care of so that if there are no sons to inherit, they can then keep their father's land. Even God had to adjust the laws as they went forward through their changes and grew. And then Joshua, maybe not the original plan, who knows, is set up to be well poised for the task ahead as the Israelites move forward toward the next chapter in their journey. A journey that would take continued faith in God, emunah, and belief, bitachon, that there is a plan, that there is a way forward that we may not see or even begin to understand or want. A plan that may be revealed in the case of Joshua in the future and beyond. A plan with a purpose that will have a ripple which affects that God has divined that we are not aware of. Change is difficult. Change is not easy. It is human nature to dig our heels in and want to resist, but it's going to happen whether we like it or not. We can be the obstacle in the path of the river or flow with the current, moving forward with bit hachon. Everyone say it? Bit hachon, belief in the path that God has laid out before us. Take, for example, our search for a new home. I couldn't sleep all night. I have been working on this for months and months. And my husband said, "Have you written your sermon? Like, you've been so busy." And I was like, "No, I haven't. And I'm stressed out." And he goes, "When are you going to write it?" I said, "When it is sent to me." I don't do it unless it comes to me. And sometimes I'm in a panic because it might be like 2 o'clock on a Friday. 5 o'clock in the morning, I wake up. He's getting up. He's getting ready. He starts talking to me. I'm like, don't talk to me. I'm receiving the message. Don't interrupt the flow. I'm receiving the message. I have to write it down. Because sometimes that message is something that I also need to hear. You teach what you need to learn, right? Anyone ever heard that? You teachers out there? Okay, so sometimes that is the process, the whole process of the being, because we are human. So remember, we can either be the obstacle in the path or we can go with the flow. So many of us have gone and searched and looked again and again and again, finding that our path in the search for our new home was being blocked at every single turn. Has anyone ever experienced that, where you think you're going forward, but you hit a brick wall? Places that we wanted so badly didn't satisfy the city, couldn't meet the code, didn't have ADA bathrooms, didn't have a ramp. They were too small. They were too big. They were too expensive. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Nothing is perfect. Many, many years ago, of blessed memory, a brilliant composer, Simon Sargon, said to me when I was first starting out, I hate to say it, in the early 90s, came to me and said, because I had a children's choir of 75 kids, came to me and said, Dee Dee, it is never going to be perfect, and you need to understand that. Get the best that you can get and let it go. Nothing is perfect. There are no perfect choices. And yet, we have to have faith. Emunah. Everyone say it. Emunah. And bitachon. Say it. Bitachon. Belief that there is a path forward, that there is a better way toward the promise. As our Shabbat Siddur states right before the Michamocha that we read, that there is a path leading us forward toward the promise that God has planned for us. It may wind this way and that through the wilderness, but make no mistake, there is no way to get from here to there without joining hands and marching together. It's not about a building. It is about the people who accompany us on the journey, the lives we touch, and how we choose to lend a chair and elevate each other. Are we going to be in Torrance, PV, Redondo? Maybe it's looking a little bit like Redondo Beach, the Hollywood Riviera. I don't know. That remains to be seen because I'm not in charge. We're not in control. We are truly not in charge, and we have to accept that, even as the clock is ticking. However, the one thing we can try to get a handle on is how we feel about it, how we respond, and know that one thing is for sure. The people we meet and the lives that we touch along the way matter. The entirety of the journey matters. It is said if you save one life, you have saved the world. The life that we have had here collectively in Torrance has touched many. People have been healed. People have been converted. People have been married and buried. Babies have been named. Who have we not yet met that we can share a chair with and make a difference, elevating each other? On this subject, and based on our Parsha Pinchas, Sir Rabbi Jonathan Sachs states, a formidable challenge occurs when it is people, not facts, that must change. Human change is very slow. Moses discovered this in the most dramatic way through the episode of the spies, which we just had a couple of Shabbatot ago. An entire generation lost the chance of entering the land. Born in slavery, they lacked the courage and the independence of mind to face a prolonged struggle that would take a new generation born in freedom. Challenges and change are inevitable. There are moments in life where this is unavoidable. Who's experienced that? But if challenge and change comes, for some, this is coming from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, far too fast, disaster happens. First, there is dissension. People start complaining. Then there are challenges to leadership. People grow more clamorous, more dangerous. Eventually, there will be a rebellion, or even worse. Remember the incident with the golden calf. In our parsha, Pinchas makes a radical choice that he stands behind with full faith in God, for which he is rewarded with the covenant of peace. We need peace. Our community needs peace. The world needs peace. We are all being pushed too far, seemingly too fast, toward a future that is unknown. The Israelites lost out. They wandered and wandered for years, and they journeyed with a faith that was fractured at its core. There was no real bitachon, belief that the one true God was in charge, guiding them forward. No matter how challenging the obstacles ahead, no matter how many miracles God performed to show them, it just wasn't enough because they couldn't get past their slave mentality. It was up to the next generation and beyond to take up the mantle leading right to us. What will we do in the face of challenge and change? How will we behave? What choices will we make? Can we be open? Can we be flexible? What will be the measure of our emunah and our bitachon? What will be the measure of our faith and what will be the measure of our belief? Who will we align ourselves with? And who will we go forward to yet meet and offer a chair to? Someone new, elevating ourselves and them. We don't know what that ripple is going to be and who we're going to help and what lies ahead. We may never know the impact that we have on another human being. We just have to be in the flow because God knows. We don't have all the answers ever. All we can do is trust the process. Show up, trying to always put our best foot forward and have faith and belief, hard, fast belief that something higher is guiding us, something intangible that we cannot see, a force that knows, even if we don't. May that force, may God be with us on our journey forward. May we have emunah and bitachon, faith and belief. And may we be rewarded, like Pinchas, with a covenant of peace for being ba'alei chesed, kind-hearted people, helping each other through the change, through the storm, like in the Milchamocha, ready to go into the unparted sea toward the promise of the unknown. Yad b'yad, hand in hand, b'yachad, together. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.